welcome back. This is the first recap after the July break. Now we're mostly back on schedule. There will be another little interruption for the week of 1920 when I will be in Cape Town for ISME. So otherwise, I'm streaming on Monday evenings US time, which is Tuesday morning for me here in Australia. So travel was really nice. I was really happy to be in Montreal. ISMB was great. The quest for orthologs was great. Got a little bit sick, but other than that, was really nice. Then a little bit of a quick stop in San Francisco as well, which was great to see people there, people I know from previous conferences, and people I know from the internet, and then some people I just got to meet. And science is lovely in this way, where you get to talk to other people who are interested in the same things as you are, such as how to evaluate MAC quality, which is the topic that we explore here. So this time on the stream, it was a little bit of a different stream than usual because we spent a little bit more time than we usually do with me trying to figure out what had been done before, because this break was like my working memory of what was going on was a little bit interrupted by the break. As I said before, I like to avoid doing too much work on this project, or if ideally almost none at all outside of the stream. We're streaming everything, including when I can't remember what I was doing before. But maybe I'll just do a sort of a recap of the recap. So what we had done before was things like this, we had looked into the CheckM2 results, and CheckM2 maps ORFs to KOs, and so we could look into that and exploit this, and we had done these plots where, so for example here, each of these lines is a particular KO, and this is the gene length in the wild type strain after we do 100 mutations, and after we add 1,000 mutations. And so you can see that there's quite a big drop, and this is the effect that we've been trying to capture, is where, because there's some mutations, there's some interrupted genes, and so their gene length should drop. So on the other hand, you can also see that the quote-unquote natural gene length anyway changes a lot between different KOs, right? So KOs are just maybe naturally very large, and so if we look at everything together, it's a little bit hard to see. So one first idea, and this we did already. Let me just load everything here. I'm just gonna run a bunch of things here. One first idea that we had done before was to then look per KO. And we're here looking within each KO, there's going to be a distribution of sizes, so that we can say, okay, for this particular KO, this given size is percentile, whatever ish of that KO. And so this is what we had. I'm just gonna show all of it here. Okay. And so in this, so we had done this before already, but now we just repeated it. Although here, importantly, we're looking at all of the KOs, not just the ones where there's a difference, but all of them. And so this is now percentiles. So the percentile in the wild type, so covers the whole range with 100 mutations and with 1,000 mutations. And if you really look closely, you can see that there's a, you can see that there's a slight shift right there. So here I'm using this other window to show it, right? You can see that there's a slight shift. So there's something going on here, but it's really hard to say. And so during the stream this week, I thought, okay, maybe we can look at the ones that are really on the lower side of things. So the ones that are sort of extraordinarily small. So can we see something there? So what we did, okay, let's So let's do a different type of visualization. We get here where, we just, so this is the, so this, right, so this is a different type of visualization, where, so 3 lines are the wild type, 100 mutations and 1,000 mutations, and so this is the KO like percentile now sorted. So you can see that there's a little bit of an increase. Quite a large bump when we have more mutations. That we have this overabundance compared to the wild type of genes that are, very, very small. And we can, for reference, we can add the diagonal. So we did this, and we did this for a bunch of these, or not a bunch, but this handful. There it is. Handful of these. There it is. Handful of the handful of species. So here's the we're looking at. So here's Bacillus. So you can see, again a little bit of bump at the bottom. Campylobacter, we'll get back to this one, but you can see again there's a bump. Green, E. coli, the green bump. Listeria, green bump. Staph aureus, a green bump. What's interesting, maybe worrying for our project, but actually interesting. I'm not sure that this is a very widely known phenomenon, or maybe it's just my own ignorance, but yes, apparently Campylobacter has smaller genes for the KO. It's sort of, I'm not sure that this is a phenomenon that's very well known or studied. That has small genes. Well, not small necessarily in the same way that we often talk about small open reading frames, but small in that for a given KO, it seems that Campylobacter tends to be on the shorter side. Maybe this is actually not the right interpretation of this figure, but it means that if we had this blue line, it would be very hard to distinguish from what's a green line here. Right? Actually, the Campylobacter line seems a lot more, have a much bigger bump. So it's actually, something to think about. And maybe one idea that one improvement to this whole approach is to use a better data set as a reference. So here we're using the same reference data set that CheckM2 uses, which is nice because we already had it, and so here to define what percentile means. But as we saw before, so this is a little bit too inclusive. CheckM2 was not using it for this purpose. So we have, but we said, okay, probably the right data set would be GMGC V1, where we want to use just the complete genes, and also they're only prokaryotic. So we went ahead and started downloading it. So we spent a little bit of time getting the right URL for the right file, then just added this to the download, to this download data. And in the meanwhile, I don't want to do this. In the meanwhile, this downloaded it. Here it is. So next time we will start by annotating this in the exact same way that CheckM2 does. Just for very practical reasons, it would be great to be able to reuse the same data. Or the same mappings that CheckM2 uses. If at some point this gets turned into a tool, it could be great to have a tool that just plugs into what CheckM2 is doing and just enhances its results. Maybe eventually it could even be part of CheckM 2.1 or whatever, or just as a separate tool. But that from a practical standpoint, it would be nice for someone to not have to run do not have to annotate things over and over again and just reuse the annotations from previous tools. Right, so this is where we stopped. So we're going to continue on Monday. On Monday, we're going to be sort of annotating the GMGC. It might be the case that we don't finish on stream. This might probably is going to take more than the hour, but we'll write the code to do it and leave it running. Hopefully, we will also try to explore a couple other ideas, trying to find what are good KOs to use as a reference for this rather than using all the KOs. And we'll keep exploring this. So in the meanwhile, everything is as usual committed to the repository. There's the mailing list, there's the Discord, so please come and say hi there. So in the week of 18 to 23, I'll be in Cape Town, so if you happen to be in Izmir, please come and say hi. I'm doing a presentation in the Night of the Microbes event, which is actually on the Wednesday, so that's open to the public as well. I'll put the description, or I'll put the link below as well. So if you're in Cape Town, come say hi. Otherwise, come say hi virtually in the Discord or in the mailing list, and I'll talk to you soon.